didn't return for A Nightmare on Elm Street 2 because he didn't want to work on something he didn't own the rights to.
You know, I didn't want to keep going on something that was owned by somebody else.
Plus, he didn't have the greatest relationship with New Line Cinema founder Bob Shaye.
I don't think that there was a real conversation about Wes doing Nightmare 2 because he and Bob had such a stressed relationship. It was a long time before I think they spoke to each other.
They did send Craven the script for the sequel, allowing him to give notes on it, but they didn't actually want his input.
I thought the script was quite inferior, and I had a lot of notes, and they said, we just want to shoot this, so off they went.
Director Jack Shoulder was not a fan of the original film.
I was never a huge fan of the original. I mean, I understood why it was good, and I understood why it was successful.
Therefore, he felt like he could play around with the story as much as he wanted, flat out ignoring the rules director Wes Craven established in the first movie. That's why we see Freddy attacking kids at a pool party in the real world rather than just coming after them in their dreams.
I felt no compunction to follow the template of the first film.
Several people did not like this, including Wes Craven, go figure, and Robert Englund.
I remember really bringing up the script issues and saying this is really, really problematic, especially the ending.
I do remember Freddy coming out at a pool party and feeling like, oh my God.
Wes objected to the fact that Freddy appears when everybody's awake.
There's certain rules you don't break. In the Wes Craven Bible, we broke a couple of rules.
If he's out someplace, just out in the open and surrounded by big teenagers, it's not going to have the power. You know, it's just you're just running up against a wall right away as a director to make that scary.
Robert Englund's agent wanted a ton of money from New Line Cinema if they wanted Englund to reprise his role as Freddy Krueger. New Line didn't have a ton of money, but they did have a solution.
And Bob Shaye said, why do we need to have Robert Englund? Because he's just a guy in a rubber mask.
They found out pretty quickly that Englund is irreplaceable.
We started Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2 with an extra in a rubber suit and mask.
And he was just atrocious. He would walk like a dime store monster. He would sort of hunker around.
Moving around like Frankenstein.
Going like this.
He was just terrible. Terrible.
Leave a comment below if you support Robert Englund as Freddy. Michael J. Fox was originally considered for the role of Jesse Walsh, but was unable to accept due to scheduling conflicts with Back to the Future.
When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit.
Other actors who auditioned for the role include John Stamos, Christian Slater, and Brad Pitt.
Have mercy.
Founder of New Line Cinema, Bob Shaye, originally wanted to play the role of Grady's dad.
Bob Shaye has always been a slightly frustrated actor. He had wanted to play the father of Robert Rustler.
Let's face it, while his dad doesn't get much airtime, it's definitely a role that requires some emotional highs. Lyman Ward is an established actor that's capable of delivering those emotional highs. Bob Shaye, on the other hand...
What do you mean?
Director Jack Shoulder, like any other director with common sense, told Shaye he'd rather have an experienced actor in the role, which resulted in Shaye almost firing the director on the spot.
I said, I need a real actor to play that role. Bob got very offended by that. And at one point he even threatened to fire me.
Jack could end up being a jerk from time to time, and that was one of his jerkier episodes.
Luckily for the both of them, they were able to come to a compromise, and we got this epically hilarious thing of beauty.
Bob Shaye looked darling in his leather costume as the bartender. He was so sweet, and I want you to know that we all believed him.
Like this video and subscribe to the channel right now, or else Freddy will come and get you in your dreams. Trust me. A scene in the film had to be removed because it made actor Mark Patton so uncomfortable. It's no secret that there are sexual undertones throughout the movie. Undertones. Some crew members loved them, some hated them. However, Patton believes they went too far when they wanted Freddy to put his blades in Jesse's mouth, and he refused to do the scene.
I said, well, you know, whatever. I mean, I can go there with you. And my makeup artist, he comes running across, screaming at the top of his lungs, stop! He needs makeup. And so he grabs me and he goes, don't you dare let him put that blade in your mouth. It'll look like you're blowing him.
I don't see the big deal, bro. Patton, who landed the role of Jesse Walsh, had actually tried out for the original A Nightmare on Elm Street, but didn't land a role. The casting director had also rejected him for A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, but one of the producers found his publicity photo lying on the ground, picked it up, read his credits, and said, "What about him?" The rest, as they say, is history. One of the cheesiest moments in horror history has to be, well, A Nightmare on Elm Street 2 in general.
It's okay. It's all over.
Still, the psychotic parakeet that burst into flames in the movie is bad. Like, Courtney Cox's haircut in Scream 3 bad. But the scene could have been salvaged with, "Oh my god, what the hell is this?"
And so we built this demonic parakeet, and it was demonic, I'll tell you. It was oversized. It had a rod coming out of its butt, and it could flap its wings and move its head. I think it didn't get used because it wasn't parakeet-like enough.
So, we got this dumb shit instead. Well, at least we've got you, Clue. Mark Patton's biggest regret in his entire film career definitely has to be Amityville Clown House.
Certainly it's one of a kind. If there was one thing that I could delete from my filmography in my entire life, it would be that dance scene in my bedroom.
Oh, well, I guess my opinion just doesn't count for anything. But Risky Business with Tom Cruise was so popular that they wanted to rip it off, even though Patton absolutely did not want to do the scene. But we all know how that went. The original idea for Nightmare on Elm Street 2 is quite shocking. Screenwriter Leslie Boehm had written a script entitled A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Baby. My concept was a homage to Rosemary's Baby. I came up with a plot that had a new family move into the house. A teenage boy, his pregnant mother, and a stepfather the boy didn't get along with. It was a real bloody, scary idea. Much more physical and realistic because the dream reality stuff was less central to these movies then. My story was more of a possession scenario with Freddy getting inside the mother's womb, controlling the fetus. But New Line Cinema passed on it because executive Sarah Risher was pregnant at the time, and I understand the idea upset her. So they went with David Chaskin's concept instead. As we all know, Boehm's idea would not go unused as he was hired on to write the script for A Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child.
It's a boy!
Freddy finally got his baby.
Jesus Christ, it's the mother lode.
What's the deal with Freddy Krueger's iconic red and green sweater? It boils down to science, bitch. No, really. Director Wes Craven said he read an article in Scientific American that the hardest colors for the human eye to see next to each other are red and green. So, he made that decision just to torture his audience. Respect. Subscribe to the channel and hit that like button, and if we get to 100 likes on this video, I'll do 10 things you didn't know about A Nightmare on Elm Street 2. Now that's science.
Yes, science!
Tina's death scene is horrendous and incredibly creative, but how they achieved the effect is even crazier. The crew created a rotating room, nailing down all the furniture, enabling Amanda Weiss to move around the walls and ceiling. Unfortunately, the room disoriented her badly. Even when she wasn't on the set, she felt like the room was still spinning. For Glenn's death scene, the rotating room was used once again. This time, they turned the room upside down and blood flowed everywhere. Literally. 500 gallons of fake blood flooded the set, which got all over the wires, causing electrical issues, and even one crew member was electrocuted during the scene. Multiple events inspired Wes Craven to create A Nightmare on Elm Street. Here, I'll let him tell you.
The beginning of A Nightmare on Elm Street really came to me with a series of articles in the
Aha! There we go.
Were we muted?
No, it turns out when you restart a Windows laptop, it fucking shits itself and dies.
Yes.
Yay, Windows!
Not that we're not grateful for the laptop we're using to live stream right now.
We totally are.
We are totally grateful.
Totally grateful.
Yes.
But oh my god, I've been wrestling with it all day. I had to install the godforsaken updates.
Uh-huh.
And the whole time you're just like, I wonder what it messed up.
Now you know it messed up the
microphone. It messed up the microphone, it messed up the webcam, but I can see that.
Yeah.
Nate Blanche coming in with the $2 some rootskis.
Yo, Nate!
Nate, like a total champ. What's up, brother man, Jack dude, homie?
Nate, what would we do without you?
I know, it's like Nate wants to be my best friend.
He's such a consistent friend of the stream, isn't he?
He is. He
Nate,
totally is.
You're
Thank
a
you, Nate. Oh my goodness gracious. So folks, tonight we're going to be talking about animal horror, and we just got back from seeing Cocaine Bear.
Just now. Literally
just
15
now.
minutes
Literally
ago.
15 minutes ago, because it, as Jonas can attest, it takes us like
40 minutes.
40 minutes if you haul ass.
To get anywhere. But
to get to our nearest theater.
Our nearest movie theater is 40 minutes away.
Yeah. So tonight we are going to be talking about Cocaine Bear. But first, I did want to give a shout out to everybody I see in the chat right now. I see Patty Heckman, John Heckman, Vanderhoff, Nate coming in with the $2 bloody bucks already. I love him. That's how Nate introduces himself.
Just kicks the door down.
He just kicks the door right down. He's like the Reggie Bannister of the chat. Chad Edmonds, nice to see you too, brother man.
Yep.
Jonas, what is going on, you big sexy lug of a man?
Tyler Trips and Dies, J.K., Trav, Samuel Stokes.
Oh my god, what did I know? These people are coming out of the woodwork.
Sergeant George.
Sergeant George Ishak. Laying it down for us. D.O.D. Good grief.
D.O.D.
How is this? It's almost like it's my birthday.
The horror fam is so strong.
They are strong tonight. And we got Briggs in here. What is up, Doctor? I miss having you on the show, brother, man. Hey, y'all share this link around. Let's try to make this a huge one tonight. Like I said, we're going to be talking about Cocaine Bear, which we literally just got back from seeing. Some good discussion coming up on that, as well as some general animal horror goodness.
The first showing in our area was 5 p.m. this evening, and we were there for you people.
We were there, so, I mean, that's how close it was. It takes us like 40 minutes to get there, 40 minutes back. The movie is
an hour and
35 minutes plus 20 minutes of previews, plus getting in and all the snacks we snuck into. I mean, but hey, that's besides the point.
No snacks today.
No snacks.
Just lattes.
Just lattes.
So that's the kind of movie we did tonight.
Yeah, so that took some finagling, but hey, man, I'm so happy to see y'all. We're gonna get it in there for y'all. But man, what I want to talk about first is last weekend. I've got to bring it up. You already know what I'm going to talk about.
Do it.
But I got to bring it up. Now, this isn't horror related, but it is probably the scariest damn thing I'm going to talk about tonight, and one of the scariest things I've seen for a long time, because this is real life scary to somebody like me.
Yes.
So
agreed.
Last weekend we decided to have a date night, which actually turned into a double date night. So we chose 2 days back to back, and just, you know, we loved each other.
Romance was in the air.
Romance was in the air, folks. And for my date night, which I believe was Saturday,
it was,
I chose The Butterfly Effect.
Yeah.
As my movie, because you had never seen it.
I had never seen it.
Or you thought you had, and then we watched it, and you were like, "Oh my god!" And I'm sitting there like,
I lied.
And that is a very intense movie.
Very dark.
Love it. At least a 9 out of 10 for me. But I love it. And you know, even though it's a very disturbing, very intense, very dark movie, you really liked it.
I did. I came away loving it as well. It's beautiful and heartbreaking.
But you got me back, because she chose for our next day. For the next day, you chose a very, very romantic, I mean straight up romance movie for your pick. But your pick also has a very deep, we'll call it a deep ending for someone like me.
It does, yeah.
So you chose The Notebook.
I did, and I'm not ashamed. I'll have
And
you
I know
know.
everybody's out there probably laughing their asses
The
off
funny
at
thing
me
is,
right
is I
now.
gave him a
They're like, "Oh,
choice of like
Steve."
3 movies, and he chose The Notebook. So,
Well, The Notebook is also a highly effective movie. I've only seen it like one time before, but it's one of those movies, like it or not, you're never going to forget it. It has
the ending sticks with you.
The ending sticks with you. You will think about it forever. And so when we started, we pulled it up on HBO Max.
Yep. HBO Max?
Yes,
HBO
it was
Is that what they call it?
HBO
They call
Max.
themselves HBO? Okay.
Everything else is
Everything's
plus, but
is
HBO
max.
gets max. It takes it to the max, baby. So we're watching this movie, and if you've ever seen The Notebook, you know, at least prior to streaming, apparently,
Yeah.
you're probably familiar with the ending.
Yeah.
Because the ending sticks with you. So the whole time I'm doing this rewatch of The Notebook, and it was just as good on a second viewing, I'll admit it. I'm sitting there though, and I'm like, oh my god, that ending is coming. It's such an effective ending.
Yeah.
It's, oh my god, it's so romantic, and it's so loving, and it's so impactful.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh my god, please let this be the way I go out.
Yeah.
It's so effective.
For those of you who aren't familiar, it's too late. You waited too long. Spoiler.
Yeah, but
the old couple die in bed together. And you know for sure they're dead.
Yeah.
Because a nurse comes and checks on them.
Well, that's the thing. So I'm sitting there waiting for this ending.
Yeah. And
it never fucking came.
It never came.
That ending never came. Instead, they have edited. They've retroactively.
Well, they didn't. Let's tell the story correctly. Like, the film ends when the couple crawl into bed together and fall asleep, and then they just end. And apparently, we did look it up. Apparently, in certain markets when the film was originally released, that's the version of the film they released. So that's, 20 years ago?
Well, in the fucking UK.
But in the US...
So in the UK, they got the soft boy ending.
Is that where it was, the UK?
It was the UK.
Okay,
And in the US...
You got the full ending.
Which is the ending I got.
Yeah.
Is the couple lie in bed together, and she's talking about how, do you think our love can perform miracles? Do you think it would be possible for death to take us both at the same time? And then... they fall asleep together, and the next day, a nurse comes in, checks on them, and finds out they died.
They've died together.
In the HBO Max version, or the UK version, or whatever, it just shows them go to fucking sleep.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to, like,
birds
flying
across the water.
And, like Anna said, I went and checked this out.
Yeah. Immediately, we were like, wait.
I was like, what the fuck? I got unless I thought it was a Mandela effect kind of thing.
Right, yeah.
So I went and looked, and yes, this was the ending UK audiences got because they didn't want to disturb them too much, and now they have, for streaming releases of The Notebook in the past few years, Netflix started it.
Yep.
You get the ending, you get cheated out of the original ending. Now the ending is they go to sleep together. And to me, and yes, I'm talking about romantic crap movie, but I don't give a fuck, because this is the scariest damn thing I've seen in a long damn time. If these streaming companies are going back and retroactively editing films...
It's a problem.
It is a problem.
For all of us.
And let me tell you something, man.
Especially for fans of the horror genre, because who knows?
Who knows?
What they're going to get their hands on.
Who fucking knows?
Yeah.
Could you imagine if they retroactively edited the ending of The Thing? And they had like one of those Fast Times at Ridgemont High endings where it just at the end it shows like a fucking picture of R.J. McCready, and it's like, McCready lived at the end. He went on to have 3 childs, and...
Well, 3 childs.
3 childs.
There are a lot of films, though, regardless of genre, that have very dark, down endings. And if we just started editing all of them...
Yeah.
Oh my god. The funny thing is so Steven got horrified. He had never heard of such a thing. And I told him that this was a conversation going on at least 10 years ago. I'm going to geek myself out here. Like among the librarian crowd.
Uh-huh.
I have friends that are librarians, and with ebooks, that was happening. So ebook providers like Amazon can go into your Kindle and censor a book you already own.
Yeah. But
retroactively years later, they can go in. So this is a problem.
That's a problem in that arena.
And now it's happening in film.
And now it's happening in film. Patty Big Paw with the $25. You're gonna have to go get me a beer, babe. They hit it.
Oh!
They hit it. They hit it.
All right. Well, that's enough of my geekdom.
Okay.
I'll go get the beer, and you can wrap up the Notebook conversation.
But what I'm saying is this, okay? They did it to soften the blow to these audiences because they believed that audiences couldn't handle something like this. Let me tell you something. If you can't handle if audiences can't handle the ending of The Notebook, which isn't even sad, it evokes emotion, but it's not sad because you're so happy for them for the life that they led. But if we're at a point in society now where people are too soft to watch and appreciate the ending of The Notebook, holy shit, I feel horrible for future generations.
Yeah.
And not only that, but it is absolutely cheating them out of the true ending of that movie.
Yeah.
And Daughter of Death here brings up, that's why you should buy physical media and stuff like that. Yes. Well, I totally agree with you on that point.
Yeah.
But at what point do they start changing the ending on those? And then if you buy the Blu-ray or something like that, it's like, because, the Blu-ray's newer of The Notebook.
Yeah, yeah.
And which ending am I getting?
Right. Which ending are you getting?
And also, it takes The Notebook, like we were talking about, The Notebook has an ending that really, truly sticks with you, and you think about it after that movie's over, and it continues to live with you. You will never forget it. That's why on the rewatch, I was just waiting for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now when people watch that shit for the first time on HBO Max, young boys, young girls, they're never going to fucking think about that movie again because the ending that they have,
soft ending, yeah,
has no impact.
Yeah, it's ambivalent. It's a little. I mean, it's it's still implied, but implication is so less hard hitting. I would agree with you, but the point is, ladies and gentlemen, this is why you must fight censorship whenever and wherever possible.
Absolutely.
Always.
Absolutely. Always.
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 Censorship.
Because we are at a time right now where it is getting, I won't say worse than ever, but it's getting pretty freaking bad.
Well, when they start censoring, there
was a let's face it, there was a blacklist.
Yeah.
In Hollywood, in the where people could go to jail for that shit.
Oh, in the 40s and 50s. Probably, yeah.
So
the
that's
50s,
pretty
50s.
bad. But now what happens is censorship comes in that form where they but it also comes in the form of burying your fucking ass.
It comes in the form of banning books.
Banning people.
Banning people. But
yeah, there's certain things on YouTube that, I'm even... very careful with the words I use and stuff sometimes because I'm like, they could bury me but and I'm not even talking about shit that's my own.
Yeah.
I'm talking about movies that have existed for 40 years that anybody can go and watch.
Yeah.
So, so absolutely.
So that's our PSA for this evening.
Yes. So I'm just saying, folks, that is, I know we got a little bit serious on you, and I know it's around a topic that people are like, what the fuck? You just spent 10 minutes of this talking about The Notebook. I don't care. I'm passionate about it, and it scared the shit out of me when I learned.
Because ultimately, it's not about The Notebook.
Yeah. It's not.
It's not about The Notebook.
It's any movie. Yeah. It's any movie.
Yeah.
They could go back and, edit the ending of The Shining.
Or any scene.
The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Yeah, it's scary.
You know what I mean? If so you guys have watched some of your favorite horror films, I'm sure, on television and everything they have to edit on television to make it more appropriate for people to watch. Yeah. Imagine if eventually that was the only version of that movie you were ever to get. That's the kind of thing, basically.
And let me tell you this.
Yeah.
This was on HBO.
HBO of
Max.
all places.
This is a streaming service. I can go on and watch Jason Momoa sexually assault a woman. in their own television series.
Oh, Game of Thrones. Yeah, it took me a minute. I'm like, well, you can do what? Not the person.
In their own
not the actor,
television. This is a channel that had real sex. They marketed the whole late night Skinamax thing because they own Cinemax too.
Yeah. They did. I didn't know that until recently.
And they go back and retroactively edit the Notebook because that's too hardcore for them. But
so be careful, everybody.
Be careful.
Be vigilant.
Be vigilant. Careful and always fight it no matter what, no matter which side we're on. I think we should all hate censorship.
Agreed. Book banning, all of that kind of stuff. And that's what happens more often. That's why I keep bringing it up. So watch out when your state starts banning books, or your city or your county or whatever, because that's the slippery slope. That right there.
Well, that's the scary thing that you mentioned. Like, I didn't know that they would go back and edit books after you've purchased them. But that's something that people do need to be careful about with their digital purchases. You know for a fact, I know this personally. I got my account from PlayStation taken and lost probably 50 games.
Yeah.
And I learned that when you buy, from that experience, I learned that when you buy something digitally,
you don't own it.
You don't own it.
Yeah.
You license it.
Right.
And they can take it whenever they want.
Absolutely. Yep.
So those games, that money is gone.
Yeah.
So, yeah, go physical, but be careful.
Yeah. That's a battle librarians had to fight, and they won, by the way.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. We won't put it later.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now we're going to move into the animal horror kingdom here.
Here we go. Are we starting with Cocaine Bear?
We're going to talk about Cocaina Bear. Cocaina. Yeah, so we got there. We got our tickets. We sat down in time. As a matter of fact,
they can all tell we've had caffeine late.
Yeah, we have had caffeine too. So
we had lattes. Well, we watched the movie. It was a mistake. Okay, go ahead.
Hell yeah. So we got there in time for the previews. We saw them all up. They showed off Renfield. They showed off the new Scream. They showed off Evil Dead Rise. And the new George Foreman movie I'm going to drag you to see.
That was the first trailer for that I had seen. You don't have to drag me. I would love to see that. I love George Foreman, That'll
be really cool. But, I mean, this is a huge year for film.
Oh yeah, man! It's like Hollywood's comeback after COVID, right? Like just
yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm pumped for Evil Dead Rise, probably the most out of all of those. I love that series.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I'm most pumped probably for Renfield.
What? Really?
But I'm also really excited for Evil Dead Rise.
Yeah. Okay.
Samesies.
Cool. Well, we're going to go check it out. But
it's going to be great. The new Guardians of the Galaxy, JP? No, they didn't show a trailer for that, but I am going to see it.
Yeah.
Because that's what I do.
Yeah. Heck yeah. And let me tell you something, man. Cocaine Bear. So I went in expecting carnage candy. I expected it to be hilarious and off the rails. And you know what? We both liked it. Yeah. I would totally watch it again. It was totally fun. It was totally a popcorn movie.
Yes. Let's tick down your list. Did you get your carnage candy?
Total carnage candy, man. It was a bloodbath. A lot of great kills.
So much more gruesome than I expected it to be.
Yes.
So much more gruesome.
Well, it wasn't more gruesome than I thought it would be because I was picturing something like Piranha 3D.
Oh, okay.
Or another new killer animal movie.
I was expecting more of the carnage to be off screen. You know how you get somebody dragged away by the bear and maybe blood splatter or whatever. This is like evisceration right on screen. Yeah, you get to watch it happen.
Somebody's leg flying across the screen.
Yeah, they didn't. No,
they didn't pull any punches, man.
Super gory.
It was nuts.
Yeah. Did you get the hilarious comedy you were expecting?
I did get the hilarious comedy to an extent. I feel like their editing could have been tighter.
Yes, I think it would have helped.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like some of their jokes didn't land, or they just held on to scenes too long, so it kind of interrupted their own joke.
Yeah, it wasn't as punchy as it could have been.
No, probably
I did.
Didn't punch. Yeah, so I would suggest people see Cocaine Bear. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's a film that I'm surprised wasn't in 3D. I feel like it would have been more effective in 3D, actually. It was made for 3D.
It would have been pretty intense in 3D. I would agree that it's like it would have upped the ante, like, for sure.
Chad Edmonds asked, Cannibal Holocaust type gore? No, not at all. Cannibal Holocaust has a totally different vibe to it.
Okay. I haven't seen it, so... And that's kind of like...
This does have intense gore, but it's silly.
And never in like a long shot. You know, some movies really hold on to the gore. You're really in it. And you know what I mean? Those long... It's not like that at all.
No.
That's really where the editing is punchy. It's like you get like spilled guts and then they, and then it's cut. Like that kind of thing. They don't hang on to it.
Yeah.
You know?
Jordan Graham mentions, hey, first off, welcome to the stream, brother man. Glad to see you back in here. Zombievers actually is on my list.
It's on the list for films tonight.
Of films I've,
Don't worry, Jordan. It's a common.
But I will say with Cocaine Bear, one of the problems I had was it felt like there wasn't a main character. So
it's a very large ensemble cast, and there are multiple threads of the story happening throughout the whole film.
Yeah.
And, that kind of loosely... Well, they're only tied together by the Cocaine Bear, so... Yeah. So you really missed not having, like, a singular protagonist.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't bother me all that much,
I felt like it didn't... Yeah, I feel like it really needed someone to lead the movie, because you only got bits and pieces of these characters, and it's almost like they're... I don't know. It didn't know whether to make certain characters full-on goofy, full-on serious, and you got kind of this mishmash because of that.
Yeah.
So it's like, don't mix them up, put some contrast in there in these character interactions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like they tried to make everyone both serious and goofy. Every character had almost all the same traits.
I don't know if, like, Ray Liotta's character is not ever funny. Not for
That's
a second.
true, but you only get him for 30 seconds.
No, but I would say that he's, like, if there's a true villain in the film, it's him. Like, you know what I mean?
That's true.
And, like, no one else is really... Well, and then, like, Ray Liotta's son has a sidekick, his best friend. He's also deadpan the whole film. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, he's... serious the whole movie, I feel like. Well, but anyways,
Daughter of Death here says, doesn't that make it harder to guess who lives and dies? Not whatsoever. I had no problem guessing who was going to live and who was going to die.
Yeah.
No problems whatsoever with that.
I would agree with that. Yeah. There was one character who survived who I thought was going to die.
Oh, okay.
Other than that, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it has a significant body count.
It does. Higher than you think.
Yeah. What's up, everything horror collector? Welcome to the stream. But overall, I would suggest Cocaine Bear. It was a fun time.
It's really fun, and if you like things like Piranha 3D and I don't know what, like Lake Placid
Zombievers,
and like
Lake Placid.
all those, if you like those types of movies, you would like this one.
Yeah.
It's not serious like Jaws.
But let me tell you something. No, not at all.
It's definitely more of a Piranha 3D vibe, I think.
But let me tell you something, man.
Sure.
As soon as we walked into the theater, wait. Okay. Before we got in, I'll go ahead and tell people the whole story. As soon as we walked in, there was a couple gentlemen in front of us.
Yep.
Getting popcorn.
Do you want me to paint the picture?
Sure.
Sure, okay. It was let's say like a 60 to 65-year-old man and his father in his early to mid 80s.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay. So I'm like, okay, these guys, and they're well put together. I was like, I remember thinking, I'm like, I wonder what they're going to see. Mm-hmm. They're really cute. They're having a day out, just the boys, whatever.
Yep.
And then they walked into the theater along with us while talking to us.
The first thing that happened was Steven steps up to buy his tickets and he says 2 for Cocaine Bear. And the older gentleman said, "Good choice."
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah. Dude, we get into the theater and like I'm talking to this guy and I'm like, dude, you ready to see some cocaines and bears or something? And he's like, yeah, this is gonna be hilarious. I knew I was gonna. As soon as we step around the corner leading into the seating area, holy shit.
Nothing but Q-tips. Nothing but Q-tips.
Yeah, it looked like the Golden Girls in there, man. Every single person in there besides us.
Every single one.
Was 60 plus.
Absolutely. And a couple were like plus. Were definitely the gentleman right in front of us.
Yes.
Absolutely had to be in his mid 80s.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
They laughed their butts off the whole movie.
They did. Which made it so much more fun.
Yeah.
Like I laughed at them a couple times and not the movie.
We would look at each other and start laughing because they were laughing so hard at sometimes it wasn't even at a joke. Sometimes it was at the carnage. Like they're just like.
Yeah. So Cocaine Bear is a fun
for the whole family. Apparently, take your parents, take your grandparents.
It's a fun theater trip. Don't expect total cheese. I will say that. Don't expect Piranha 3D. With that, you knew exactly what you were getting.
Right. This kind of skates a line where it's like there's some really serious dark elements to the movie.
Yeah.
Right? Like
it was
It got dark a couple of times in a way that I don't think either of us were expecting.
Yeah. So fresh out of Cocaine Bear, I suggest you guys see it. As a matter of fact, check this out. Look at your screens, fans.
Yay!
That's us right there.
That's us 10 minutes ago.
Yeah. Right. I mean, this was half an hour before we got on stream?
Yeah. Well, 40 minutes, because that's how long it takes us to
go. So, that's us, man. Enjoying some Cocaine Bear goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would suggest checking it out. It was fun.
Yeah, it was. It was a lot of fun.
And, Vanderhoff, or somebody mentioned something about CGI gore. And yes, but you mentioned the CGI in it.
Yeah.
And you were like, it didn't really bother me.
It wasn't bad. The visual effects were done by Weta. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with them at all. They do, oddly, a lot of fantasy films. Mm-hmm. The CGI was fine. It was great. And they mixed it. So you did get a lot of, practical, when there's big splatter or there's or a leg goes flying or something like that, all of that is practical. There's no I feel like at the birth of CGI in the late 90s, early 2000s, when it was really rampant everywhere, they CGI'd everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's and this had a nice enough mix that.
Well, I think part of what works for CGI, it's hard for me to take a movie that's serious. And then they throw CGI in there, and then it's oh my god.
Yeah,
it's watching a fucking, The Notebook with a cartoon overlay. It's I can't.
Yeah.
You can't do a serious movie and then CGI the hell out of it. But for a movie like Cocaine Bear,
yeah,
CGI works because you already know what the hell you're getting.
Right. Well, and you anticipate it, right? The film is going to be full of bear attacks.
Yeah.
You can't really use a real bear for maybe for a scene where a single bear attacks somebody briefly or whatever. This is an hour and a half of a bear attacking people.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Logically, you're gonna get a CGI bear.
Oh, absolutely.
And at least they paid the money for a good CGI bear. It's a pretty good looking bear.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
And,
I've seen worse.
Well, now, since we tackled the CGI versus practical, there are certain calling cards of
animal horror,
and we're about to go over those and list them out, and we'll give some examples and stuff like that, too. But I do want to take a minute and ask our audience right now.
Okay.
Yesterday, I released a new 10 Things You Didn't Know video about the original Scream. I want to know who in here watched that video. You watched it?
I watched it a couple times.
Really?
Yeah.
What did you think?
I loved it.
Really?
Yes.
Was it a return to form?
It was a return to form. Your editing was excellent.
Really?
The jokes were hilarious. And the facts were very informative. There were some facts on there that I really, really liked.
Oh, yeah?
Especially the improv ones.
Oh.
Like, I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
And the the screw up where he hits him in the head with the phone.
Yeah, the phone tag champion.
And the fact that Drew Barrymore actually dialed 911. Like, come on. Yeah, some of those were great.
Yeah. Well, so I would like to know what everyone thought about it in the chat, because that is kind of my trademark series, and there's going to be a lot more of those coming up. I've already started working on Scream 2. So I'm just wanting to know what everyone thought. Good or bad, please let me know, because I'm only wanting to get better. The only thing I would say I'm going to do different going forward is I'm going to make them shorter.
Oh, okay. Tighten it up a bit?
I'm going to tighten it up a bit. That was
Okay.
11 minutes, and, I feel like in the TikTok generation,
You need to
and
shorten
I
that
get a
up.
little bit wordy anyway, and I speak slower than most people because of my accent.
Yeah.
So I need to tighten that up. That's my own self-critique on it, but I would love to know what everyone else thought on it.
Well, you're getting a lot of feedback here.
I am. So let's see here. Chad Edmonds said he loved it. Samuel Stokes said that it was awesome. J.K. said he watched it. It was very good. Thank you, J.K. I think you're very good. I love you, J.K.
JK is very good.
Totally. Thank you. Patty Hegman says, I watched it. Great information. We love you, Patty. Necro said, great job. Jordan hasn't got to see it yet, but he'll get to it eventually. Well, when you do, Jordan, please leave me a comment on it and let me know
what you
thought. Daughter of Death said she had fun with it. John Heckman says he started, then got a work call. Are you sure it was a work call, John? Did they ask if you liked scary movies? Vanderhoff says that he likes the long videos. JP wants to know if it has strippers in it. Well, it has
The
me
original
in it,
Scream
so
does
yes.
not have strippers in it.
I think he's asking if the Talk Horror video.
If the Talk Horror...
If my cover... And yeah,
you added a stripper to your 10
I'm
Things
an amateur
video.
stripper. Yeah, girl.
He's going to start dancing for us in the...
Everything Horror Collector says he hasn't yet, but he needs to get to it. Work has been crazy. EHC, brother, please leave me a comment on it. And while we're talking about this, I got a package in the mail the other day.
Yeah. From Necro.
Two packages, actually.
Oh my gosh, so, yeah.
The first
I was
one...
gonna say something weird.
The first one we're going to mention, since we're talking about Scream,
Yep.
came courtesy of Necro. Now, certain cinemas got promo items for the upcoming Scream 6, and Necro went to cinemas just for me and picked these items up and then sent them to me. So first off, we have a Ghostface popcorn bucket. Check that out. You can pop his little noggin open or use him like a shark head. Just and use him as a popcorn bucket. And on the back...
It doesn't hold very much popcorn.
It doesn't, but I will be in theaters dressed like this, just watching. I probably won't be, because I'm one of those weirdos who's like, no, I don't want to get it dirty, then I'll have to wash it. But I'll sit there and like this.
And cuddle it.
While I watch it.
I think you have something that's more cuddleable.
But before we show off that little guy, on the back of this, there's a quote that says, do you like scary movies? So, that's not all that came in the package. Now, Anna mentioned me cuddling something, and this little dude would be a perfect candidate. It is a Ghostface plushie.
And it's still in its plastic bag.
And it's still in its plastic
which
because
explains everything.
I'm that kind of person. You know, with fancy slipcovers over the furniture.
Yo, it's nice.
And for when I get parched. Good old Necro sent me a Ghostface drinking cup.
It's a drinking cup.
It's a drinking cup.
It's a cup from which to drink.
It is a cup from which to drink my drink from.
Isn't it cute?
Yes, thank you so much for these, Necro.
He's definitely
I
the
love
cutest
them.
of the item. It's funny, like, that they
And-
went with a totally different, like, make than they did the bucket instead of having them, like, matchy-matchy.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny.
It is.
Whatever.
But so these, and I am a total sucker, as you guys could probably tell when I did the Jerry Montano stream, when I was showing off some of my collectibles. I am a sucker for promo items
Loves 'em.
and stuff that are like limited.
You'll have to go that
Like
way
not
with it.
many people have these.
Yeah.
So thank you, Necro. He says that this is a used straw, so oh my god, Necro, brush your teeth,
So
bro.
the theaters that have this stuff or had, because it's probably all gone already.
Probably,
were
because
Cinemarks, right?
Cinemarks, but assholes were going in and buying up all of this merch and then price gouging it on eBay.
It's all for sale on eBay now. Like,
Yeah, I think
people are such jerks.
Yeah, I think Necro got all of this for $40, and people were going on eBay and selling the plushie alone for $40. Or 45, or he got it all for 45, and they were selling the plushie just by itself for 45 on eBay. People are dicks. Let people who enjoy the movies go out and enjoy these items, man.
Yeah.
Don't create. Come on, man. That's a dick move. Yeah. But
We're not big fans of the secondary market.
Beautiful Vi. Oh wait. Oh, hell, call me Vi. What's up, Vi? I saw Patty going beautiful Vi. I was like, hey, what's up? Welcome to the stream. Hit that sub button, my friend. Welcome to the horror fam. Another package we got. And this one was freaking huge. And
It was 2 boxes.
It was 2 boxes.
One shipment of 2 boxes.
It came
Huge
from
boxes.
our great friend JP. He sent this bad boy over. Y'all check this out. This was one of the items in the in the box.
Yeah. Yep.
He sent me a damn chainsaw that works.
Yes.
He sent me
A prop chainsaw.
a prop chainsaw.
That works.
He sent me a fog machine with fog juice. He sent a voice changer. He sent tons of stuff.
2 of the ghoulies you hang from like a tree with LED lights inside them all rigged up.
And I'm going to create a short and upload it to the channel later so you guys can see Shorty in action.
Yeah.
Because he is an animatronic.
Yeah.
He does move and play sounds.
It's like JP says right here, the head required its own box. And the head had been lost. I have to brag on JP right now. The head had been lost. And so JP built that Shorty head.
Yes.
Out of paper mache.
Yes, that is a custom head.
That is a custom head.
And it actually looks better than what came with it because of the hair.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the hair is much
the
cooler.
head design and stuff in general.
The head just
but-
looks a little more gruesome.
Yes.
Being made out of paper mache.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it just, it's so cool.
John Heckman's asking, do we have a video of the clown? We do. I'm going to upload it on the channel later.
Yeah.
And we'll make sure you get a copy, brother man. Jonas, yeah, I can totally show off your drunkie picture. I'll have to prep that for next time, dude. I don't have it on here right now, but all right. So, yes, thank you. I'm glad y'all sat with us and checked out all the new goodies I got, man. And thank you every single one of you who send me fan mail. JP, Jonas, Necro, Everything Horror Collector. You guys, I feel like it's my birthday every time I get a package in the mail from one of you guys, man.
Yeah.
Seriously, I do.
Yeah. And on your
Right.
actual birthday, Patty and John sent you food.
They did. Tons of yummy food. So badass. Thank you, Patty and John. You guys are wonderful, man. So back to our list of calling cards or tropes
Oh, yes, that's what we're
that
hitting.
we
Yep.
have seen in animal horror films.
Themes, perhaps.
We've noticed some
Maybe
themes
tropes might be better, but yeah, okay.
in these movies.
Yeah.
Now, we talked about the CGI versus practical.
Right.
Practical works, in my opinion, very well for something like Jaws.
Right.
That is trying to be a serious movie. CGI is passable and sometimes makes things even funnier when it's just a silly ass movie.
Yeah. Well, and the thing with anything that is in the water,
Yes, anything.
it's rare to see the entire animal.
Yeah.
Right. That's why Jaws works so well. Right. Like it's, they can get away with just showing the mouth or just showing a fin or just showing it. Yeah.
Now, another calling card Another way you know you're watching an animal horror movie is there's always going to be a scientist or an explorer.
Or sometimes both.
Yeah, Chad Edmonds right here. Most of them have the tourist trope. Yeah, so you get the explorer.
Right.
You know, or the tourist who's like going into woods they're not familiar with.
Right.
And,
someone is unfamiliar. Someone is using a map. Someone is, yeah, absolutely.
And of course, you get the scientist who's trying to figure out this new
why is this
species
happening?
or why is this happening? Blah 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 is not known for attacking man.
Right.
And that's another trope in and of itself that we've talked about. It's like, why the hell are these animals attacking people? And sometimes that is never answered, like Night of the Lepus, for instance, which is rabbits.
No, but you do get a scientist.
You get the scientist.
You do get the
But I'm
scientist
saying,
trope.
like, you don't, you get the scientist trope, but you don't get the answer, like, okay, so now these bunnies are massively overgrown.
But they never discuss.
But why the hell did they decide to attack humans?
Because rabbits are herbivores.
Yeah.
They do not eat. They don't even eat insects, man.
Yeah, so they would just eat, they'd be like a brontosaurus. Like, now they can just eat bigger...
Now they're eating trees, right? Like, that's what, yeah. But anyways, like, so that's interesting. That's one of the tropes Cocaine Bear does not have. And, interestingly, Cocaine Bear is based on a true story.
Oh, yeah.
So... the one on our list that's a true story, there's no scientist involved.
Well, Samuel Stokes here is talking about a movie I haven't seen, but you have. You were talking to me about the other day called Ghost in the Darkness, and I really want to see that.
Yeah, you should. I agree. It's totally underrated.
Mm-hmm.
It has Val Kilmer, who we love.
Yeah.
Michael Douglas. Come on. And it's about lions. And it's a true story. Or, based on a true story.
Yeah, I really want to check that out.
Yeah,
that sounds, crazy too. And the true story, you said it was like young lions that just started like attacking humans, and they're not known for that.
Nope.
Like they'll attack a human.
Yeah,
but
because
they
they're
won't
territorial.
actively hunt them.
They will not actively hunt humans, and these two did. That's what they did.
That's insane.
Yeah.
And Daughter of Death right here says, Bug from 1975 had the dark example of that trope. We follow the scientist for the whole film as he becomes obsessed with the bugs and they evolve before his eyes.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? Well, I mean, you get films like, in certain films, the scientist is who causes the problem. That is,
they're trying to do something they
right?
shouldn't be doing. Well, like, he doesn't cause the problem. Per se, but like Lance Henriksen in Man's Best Friend, like he created the dog, but he didn't release it on the damn pup. Like,
but it still is what create. I mean, it's messing with it, right? It's that Dr. Frankenstein theme, right? You're messing with something that maybe you shouldn't be messing with.
And Julian Sands in Arachnophobia, if he hadn't went down there and collected these specimens.
Right?
They wouldn't have made it back to America.
Right,
and some gnarly ass spiders.
Night of the Lepus, you have the same thing. Like they're just trying to get regular old bunnies off of the prairie, and next thing you know, they're injecting something into the rabbits, and one gets loose, and shenanigans. Now people are dead because
and then sometimes, like you said, and then sometimes it's not the scientist's fault. Like they're there just trying to help shit. Like in Jaws,
right.
You know,
he's just trying to help.
Or Piranha, Piranha 3D. We get Christopher Lloyd just being Christopher Lloyd. But let's see here. What comments are we getting? Patty Heckman saw it, didn't like it. What did you see and not like, Patty?
Yeah,
I'm very interested right now. Like, But Daughter of Death here says, I actually liked Burning Bright 2009 for another big cat horror. He's a tiger chasing two kids through a locked house. It turns out somebody deliberately created the problem, but it wasn't a scientist.
Yeah.
Crazy, man. Crazy.
Other tropes.
Other tropes we always get, or well, not always, but confused law enforcement.
Yep.
Like law enforcement that is just no help whatsoever.
Yeah. Well, because what can they do, right?
Well, not everybody can be a Chief Brody. Right?
Agreed.
Chief Brody was like, look, we need to close the beaches down, Dick. The shark is killing people.
Yeah.
We don't know. We got to solve that problem.
Yeah. Well, and at the end of the day, even Chief Brody he's like the catalyst, right? He's going to make sure this gets done. But he couldn't have done anything without the other two characters, right? Like, he couldn't have. He was the impetus. He was the one who knew something needed to get done, but he didn't know what, and he had no idea how to do it. So, you know.
Yeah.
So you still need somebody.
Oh, thank you, Patty Heckman, for clearing that up. She did not like Ghost in the Darkness.
Okay.
But we also get in Arachnophobia, there is a stupid-ass cop who has no help whatsoever. He's even as far as going, like, bumbling.
Yeah, at 100%.
Like, you know, he is a butthole.
Yeah.
Butthole.
He's a butthole.
The whole movie. And then, of course, he gets the shit scared out of him eventually. You know, and it's like, oh my God, dude, you're such a detriment to, you know.
Yeah.
What else do we get? We get a cop in Cujo who is really of no help.
Yep.
We get 2 cops in Man's Best Friend who even the fucking characters themselves are pissed off at when, like, you know.
Yeah.
Like, dude, find the dog. Save people's lives. Do your job. I'm not a cop. You are.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it even goes that far.
Yeah. And in Cocaine Bear, you get 2 kind of.
Oh my God.
One's a park ranger.
Yes.
Who ends up in way over her head, obviously. And then you get a police detective who's searching for the cocaine. And so he's really confused, right?
Yeah,
like, he's looking
like,
for cocaine and, you know, has to come face to face with a cocaine-crazed bear.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say.
Yeah. But, I mean, yeah, and what else do we get cops? I mean, Thanksgiving has a cop in one of the most hilarious scenes. But I mean, you know, and not everybody can be Ving Rhames from Piranha 3D. He was a cop who was a total badass. You know, he just rips the motor off the back of the boat and just saws through the fishies.
Goes back into the water for no reason.
Hell yeah, he did. He whipped some serious ass.
All right, next trope.
Next trope. We always get baby animals.
Just a baby.
And sometimes it's so the bigger animal can be protective over the babies, pull a mama bear.
Right.
No pun intended, because we did get that in Cocaine Bear.
You do. So you give the animal more impetus.
We do.
Sometimes.
And sometimes the babies are the twist.
Right.
As in the end of Piranha 3D or The Meg or some other movies where it's like, after the town or whatever, has been ravaged.
Mm-hmm. They think they've won.
Yeah, they think they've won, and then dun dun dun!
Out crawls the babies.
Yeah. It was the babies the whole time.
It was the babies the whole time. Or now we're gonna have another problem because that was just, you know, now there are babies.
Well, yeah, Lake Placid
we
ends
killed mommy or daddy or whatever, and
so Lake Placid ends with. Holy shit! Everything Lure Collector. Damn!
EHC, man.
Jesus.
Wow.
Holy cannolis, man. It's just...
Cheers, brother.
Yeah, cheers, man.
Thank you, EHC, so much.
I feel like he just bought the channel. Should we just...
You can have it.
Yeah. I feel like I'm just going to give him this shirt and let him come sit here and talk to everybody. Like, he just...
When are you going to have
shit.
EHC on?
He works too much.
Dude, we all want to see your collection.
We do.
I get like little tidbits of it on TikTok and stuff, and I'm like, come on, man. Yeah, you need to do like an episode like you did with Jerry Montano.
Yeah,
with
absolutely.
EHC. That'd be so great.
So for those listening right now, Everything Horror Collector just donated a massive $100.
Now Jonas wants a beer.
This is... Holy shit. EHC, yes!
That's for you, EHC.
That's for you, brother.
We can't high-five you.
Yeah, I mean, Jesus, man.
Only got each other.
Yeah. Goodness gracious there.
You okay?
Oh my God, I might just cancel the stream early and go party.
Yeah.
But yeah, baby animals.
Baby animals.
Baby animals.
Do.
Yeah, but sometimes we do get the baby animals, like you said at the end of Lake Placid. It turned out Betty White
is feeding them.
Is feeding baby alligators.
Yeah.
And then at the end of Man's Best Friend,
crocodiles.
or crocodiles. Then at the end of Man's Best Friend, we totally have babies.
Yep.
You know,
Arachnophobia, you have babies in the babies are actually what are causing all the trouble, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Piranha 3D, the babies are what's causing all the trouble.
Yeah.
Next
we have always another alligator, snake, shark.
Right.
Which is like,
if there aren't babies, it's because there's another full-grown animal. Sometimes both, though. Every once in a while you get both.
Yeah, for instance, in some movies like The Meg or Anaconda or something like that, like the whole movie they're fighting like this giant animal, and then you find out that there's an animal out there that's even bigger.
Right? It's
like that anaconda was only 25 feet, but there's really a 50-foot one.
It's usually its mate, right?
Yeah.
Like it always has a mate that's just a little bigger, a little scarier.
Oh my god, that was the female.
Yeah.
You know,
or the male, depending, right? Like they always play to if in that animal species the female's bigger, that's the one they hide.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You get it.
Oh my
you
God.
guys get it.
Yeah, absolutely. And then sometimes we get a character who is sympathetic to the animal.
Yep.
And that can be...
And sometimes that blends with the scientist, right?
Yeah. Sometimes. And sometimes it can be like activist motivated. Like sometimes it could be like, oh my god, I can't believe they're doing this to these animals, like in Man's Best Friend or something, where they're like, we have to release these animals. Or sometimes it can be Jaws, where the mayor's like, no, you sons of bitches, we aren't shutting down the beach. Which that line, that's not sympathetic to the animal.
Yeah.
But it's sympathetic to his wallet. But Tremors. I believe in Tremors 2 or 3, what's his name, who was in the original, he was like the asshole little teenage kid.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he comes back and, like, he doesn't want them to kill the Tremors for some reason. It seems like that happened.
I haven't seen Tremors 3, so I don't know. But I believe you, because there is, and in Lake Placid, you've got Betty White. She's actively feeding these creatures right, for years.
Well, and in Man's Best Friend, you get the scientist who's like, this is a multi-million-dollar dog that can save lives.
Well, again,
human lives.
Yeah.
If you shot him, it would be a disservice to humanity.
Right.
And then another example that's not even animal-related is Jason X. Remember the school teacher who was like...
Stephen can always bring it back to Friday the 13th.
I can always bring it back to Friday the 13th, my friends, but the school teacher's like, no, he's a specimen that can regenerate cells, and he's older than anybody.
But it is that trope. It's that there's a reason to protect this thing that is like, murdering.
Sometimes it's like, for a good cause, and sometimes it's, motivated by money.
Uh-huh.
So that's our tropes we have written down for animal horror. I would love to hear what the audience thinks, if there's any more they can come up with.
All right, so now let's hit our movies.
Let's hit our movies.
That hit some of these tropes, or not.
Yeah.
Obviously Cocaine Bear.
Cocaine Bear hits some of those tropes. Jaws hits some of those tropes.
Jaws, come on, guys. Like, you didn't think we would talk about Jaws? We had to hit Jaws.
Jaws is absolutely on the list, and we purposely excluded every other shark film because...
The granddaddy of them all.
Jaws is the granddaddy of them all. It doesn't get any better.
Doesn't. It's all downhill from there.
Yeah, and Jaws is a great example of practical effects over CGI, because I feel like every other shark movie has done CGI, and it looks like ass, and immediately dates that film.
It does. Yeah, agreed. I can agree with that.
Arachnophobia definitely hits some of those tropes.
Arachnophobia is full of it's full of the tropes. It hits all of them really well.
But
right?
oh my god, so this is one I want to bring up for you.
An arachnophobia uses real spiders.
Like
all of those spiders all over the wall, they're all real spiders.
Yeah. So, and that's something I wanted to bring up for you was like, animal horror, this is a question I want to ask you and maybe some other people. Like, animal horror is one that I don't talk about often.
Right.
And I don't revisit animal horror films often.
Okay.
With the exception of Jaws, really.
Right. Yeah, you do love Jaws.
Like,
you like to watch a multitude of shark horror.
I do.
In August.
Right, I do. Like,
during
when it's
Shark
Week,
yeah.
absolutely. But I feel like animal horror doesn't have a lot of draw to it.
Well, okay. I would say, and you guys can totally correct me if I'm wrong, I would say the people who like monster horror are the type of people who are drawn to animal horror.
Mm.
You know what I mean? They are, because they are in essence monster films, right? Like they're monsters where the monster just happens to be a real animal instead of, something fantastical. You know, it's a real animal. But they follow a lot of the same tropes. They have a lot of the same, themes a lot of times, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I think thematically they're really kind of very, I'm not going to say the same, but they're very similar. And you're not a monster movie person either.
I am sometimes. Cloverfield. Well, if you're talking about big monsters, but there's some
He's
creatures.
Never seen King Kong. He's never seen Godzilla. He's never.
but I don't know. I just feel like there's not a lot of draw to them. Like some of these aren't really. I think animal films are really hard to pull off because you don't. It's almost with me like you have to go the cheesy, funny route, like Black Sheep or Zombievers or Piranha 3D Thanksgiving.
See now,
something like that, because like when you get into shit like there was a huge surge of animal horror in the 90s for some reason, with like Congo, Lake Placid, Anaconda, Arachnophobia.
Yeah.
Those movies are horribly fucking dated. Like Lake Placid and Anaconda specifically.
Yeah.
But it's like...
I was going to say, we just rewatched Arachnophobia, and I would say it's not
that's what I was
going to
get. Well, that's what I was going to get into. Like, out of these movies, and there's a shit ton of animal horror, and there's a lot that we wrote down. Out of these movies, what would you say are ones that actually scared you?
Oh, Arachnophobia.
Arachnophobia is great.
I had no idea, so we just rewatched it to prepare for the stream, and I was scared the whole time. To be fair, I am arachnophobic. I am afraid of spiders. Mm-hmm. I hate them.
But they did so great with them because I'm not...
They used real spiders, and so they move and act and behave like real spiders the whole movie, and it is so...
But I'm like not... I'm not like terrified of spiders or anything like that. I don't... it is sometimes shocking when you look... Now, a huntsman will be, oh my god. Or a wolf spider or something like that. Those suck to have in the house. But, like, they will get you on the shock factor. Because, like, I'll look over and be like, holy shit. That huge black spot on the wall ain't supposed to be there and it has legs. But an Arachnophobia really was very well directed and shot. And they played with that because they did show the spiders a good bit. The spiders had a lot of screen time, but they played with it in ways
created all the tension.
Spiders will show up for you in real life, like the spider crawling around the inside of a lamp and you can see the reflection of that son of a bitch through the shade.
Yeah.
Or the spider in the shower that gets on that girl's hair. Yeah. And then you're like, oh, because that's a fucking worst nightmare, especially for a girl. Like, because number one, you're vulnerable in the shower, but can you imagine having a spider in your hair?
Yes.
Especially a big one.
That. It's horrible. It's horrific. No, but legitimately, like, you do. I a number of times in my life, I have opened up the shower only to find a spider already in there.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? That's happened to me a number of times.
Dude, the last huntsman I found, I went to use the bathroom.
Yeah.
And I'm walking into the bathroom to go get to the toilet, and I pee, but like something, it registered in my brain like, I thought I spotted something possibly in the shower.
Yeah.
In the bathtub. And, like, after I was done peeing, I looked and, oh my God, there is a huge huntsman in the bottom of the bathtub.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I have an interesting... I have an interesting thing about that. This is why you were able to recognize, like, something, even though it was like a...
Yeah.
So scientists did a study years ago on fear. Yeah. And they would sit their humans down, their subjects down, and quickly flash images at them.
Yeah.
And the images would get faster and faster, and people had to push buttons on, oh, I recognized it as this, that, the other thing. And only to discover that the humans the fear of spiders is so instinctive in humans that they can recognize a spider faster than they can recognize anything else. Literally anything else. No matter what else they showed pictures of to people with human faces, guns, all kinds of spiders. Like, we can recognize that thing no matter how fast you flash it at us.
Oh my God.
That's how afraid of spiders we are.
That's insane.
That's why when people like spiders and they're like, oh, I have a pet spider, I like this spider, I'm just like, nope, something's wrong with you.
So it's a survival mechanism.
It is a survival mechanism. They were in those caves with us, man.
Yeah.
And we had to recognize them, like, you know, and we can, and
So arachnophobia is still highly effective.
It is.
Highly effective. And J.K., thank you. You brought this up earlier that they use real cockroaches in Creepshow.
Yes.
Another highly effective animal horror sequence.
Oh, it super is. Like,
scared the shit out of the people involved in the making of Creepshow. So I can only imagine the people who made Arachnophobia.
No. I would never have agreed to it. I wouldn't even care how much money they offered me. I'm like, nope.
Except for John Goodman. John Goodman was not afraid of the spiders.
No.
Any of them.
No.
I mean, in real life. For people wanting to know an arachnophobia fact, John Goodman was not afraid of the spiders.
You can tell in his performance.
Yeah, he's a beast, man. He is a beast. But of course, Jaws is a highly effective, very scary. I mean, this
obviously really holds up. Like, there's no like that. I feel like the films that hold up the best, like, not only rely very loosely on their effects. You know what I mean? Like, that's not the big push of the film, but they how good is the writing? How good is the acting? How you know, how good is the direction? And it's like that's I mean, it's like any other film.
Yeah, Jaws
like any other film.
Jaws is highly effective. It created a fear in people to not go in the damn ocean.
Yeah.
Like, I remember being a kid and being so afraid of Jaws or whatever, not enough to keep me out of the ocean or anything like that.
Yeah.
And I won't even say afraid, but I'll say, like, I remember being on vacation at the ocean, at the beach, and thinking, like, oh my God, could Jaws come up through the water pipes and get me while I'm in the bathtub? You know, the shit kids think of. But meanwhile,
kids think of the coolest stuff.
But meanwhile, also, while I'm 6 years old and thinking this, I'm sitting there playing with a Jaws
toy
in the bathtub, and I would take it into the ocean with me and take it into the pool with me.
Yeah. You had an interesting childhood.
Yeah, my imagination, huh? So I would say Jaws and Arachnophobia are highly effective. Still, Cujo, no, I'm not afraid of dogs.
Yeah.
You know, and I've almost been attacked by a pack of dogs, and I'm still not skittish, or, you know.
Yeah.
I wasn't even afraid of them when that happened, really.
You know, it's funny, like, I'm not actively afraid of dogs. I like dogs. I love dogs. Like, but when a dog gets angry, like, and snarls and does that, like, oh, the hairs on the back of my neck will rise. Like, it really, like, it's like that instinctive, it goes back to that, like, instinctive fear.
Yeah.
Like, so when dogs fight each other, like, it really kind of, it almost, like, clenches me up. It's that, you know, but it's almost instinctive. Once they start snarling and stuff, I don't know, then I'm like, whoa.
Well, it's interesting that you mentioned that, because, like, a dog psychologist, or whatever the hell you'd call it, would tell you dogs who bark don't bite.
Uh-huh.
Like, you don't have to worry if a dog is still barking at you.
Mm-hmm.
When they start growling, that's when they bite.
That's what it is. It's the snarl, right? A bark doesn't scare me. The snarling.
So once again, survival mechanism.
Yeah.
And oh my God, I'm just looking at our stream goal here, crack open a Steve Weiser, and we're at 1,250% complete.
Yay!
On the stream. That's so awesome, man. You guys are so awesome. JK says, I even like the Jaws too. Totally agree with you, brother. Everything horror collector. Anaconda is my favorite animal horror. Holy crap. That's wild, man.
Love it.
Daughter of Death asks, not afraid of rabid dogs, Bo? No. Because I've never been around a rabid dog, so I don't approach a dog thinking like, well, this dog may be rabid. I'm going to be afraid. No. I'm not like that. Does not happened often enough to where I have trauma built up around.
Around rabid.
So no, I just assume that no dog is rabid. Jonas, if we even get one more dollar in here, I'll go get another Steve Weiser, brother. So I did put Pet Sematary on the list, and it doesn't count as animal horror, really.
That was my question. I was like, does that count?
But I'm going to throw it in there because the Cat Church fucking forever changed cats for people, because every human being I know that's had a cat has thought about naming it Church, at least. Now, it's rare that they name it Church.
To be fair, you know a really interesting select group of people.
I do.
Because I, on the other hand, have never met anyone who even thought about naming their cat.
I had a cat named Church. Okay.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just, you know.
I get you, but also I will say...
But I have friends who named their dog Frodo.
But
so.
Church... Oh my God, here we go.
I'm just saying.
But Church is an awesome cat. And Judd's dog Spot in the movie is scary, because his mother describes it when Judd's dog Spot comes back. And he's snarling and growling at Judd's mom while she's hanging up the laundry.
Yeah.
And she tells Judd to come out there and get his dog, which is now... decaying.
Yeah.
His mother says, come out here and get your dog. It smells of the ground you buried it in.
It smells sour.
Smells sour. The ground beyond is sour. So, Pet Sematary I had to add on here for an honorable mention.
Honorable mention.
And it always gets an honorable mention for me because it's fucking awesome.
Yep.
The birds.
And of course, the birds.
The birds, absolutely not afraid of them. If anything, they should be afraid of me.
He doesn't like the birds.
No, I don't. So the birds, are you scared of that?
I am
birds?
no. It
Okay.
never no. No, but it's a great one.
Yeah, any of these.
I mean, it relies very much on, you know, the tension, right?
Yeah, so we have Lake Placid. That doesn't, hold up, really, because it's a CGI crocodile.
It's a CGI crocodile.
Congo, no, I'm not going to the Congo anytime soon. Anaconda, no, not really scared of scared of snakes enough to let them keep me out of where I want to be.
Well, we in West Virginia have a lot of snakes. So if it kept you out of everywhere you wanted to be, we get them in our garden every summer. So it would keep you in the house. Like a legitimate fear of snakes, I think, would keep you in the house.
Well, yeah, because, we have 2 poisonous snakes out here.
We are very cautious of snakes in West Virginia.
Yeah, you watch where you step, but they're not something like your petrified, because hell, I have opened our screen door and had a snake literally
on our porch,
literally under the screen door.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
So, and then, we've been outside and had snakes watched as they crawl under our house.
And I'm a city girl, y'all, so this has been
yeah.
This has been new for me. Like big time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Jonas, I say absolutely go get a beer, man. What are you waiting for, brother?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, everything Horror Collector says, my wife is terrified of anything not human.
Yeah.
Good survival instinct.
Yeah. Absolutely. Chad brings up the copperheads. We had a copperhead. We watched a copperhead slither beneath our house, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
I was scared for weeks afterwards.
Yeah, he chilled under the house, and we do have rattlesnakes, but I don't see those as often.
I was gonna say I've been out here 3 years now, and I haven't seen a rattlesnake, but I've seen a number of copperheads.
And you saw a monster black snake.
Saw a monster.
You saw a black racer.
Yeah. Oh, those are crazy.
Yeah. But non-venomous. King Kong, no. Monkey shines.
King Kong, no. King Kong. Oh, you're not afraid of gorillas? Is that what you mean by King Kong? No,
I'm looking at these movies and like how they and if they like are effective still, and it's like or like scary and Monkey shines. No, I still have that problem where I'm like I cannot picture a monkey manhandling.
I love that this is what our list has come down to. Like the only time we're talking about some of these movies is whether or not they're still effectively like terrifying, like if they have a lasting effect. That's what you mean, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
The film itself can still be effective, but they didn't create a lasting fear in you of these particular animals.
Yeah, so I mean, it's like Night of the Lepus, it's Killer Bunnies. That was so silly.
It's so silly.
It's so silly. But I did love how like they would show the close-ups of like clearly somebody wearing like a bunny arm and just... Yeah, like Jack Frost.
It's totally like Jack Frost. I was like, okay, Jack Frost absolutely uses the bunny arm.
Oh my god, yes. Thanksgiving is hilarious. Zombiever's hilarious. Black Sheep hilarious. Piranha, no, it doesn't scare me. It would totally suck to get in piranha-infested water, though, because apparently they're rabid.
Yeah.
Like, they are ravenous. Like, they will decimate your ass in seconds.
So Steven had never seen Night of the Lepus, so we watched it. Was that just last night?
Yeah.
We watched it so he could check us out. And now we both have a deep desire to make a film where we just create miniatures.
Yes.
And unleash regular-sized things into the... Because that's... If you guys haven't seen Night of the Lepus, that's how it's done.
They do it.
They take regular... Obviously. But that's what's nice about it. It's real rabbits. They take real rabbits and they unleash them amongst, like a miniature town. It's hilarious. It's fantastic.
Oh my god, yeah. It's hilarious how they did that. Yeah, so I definitely want to make a movie like that sometimes. Just... Hell, it can even be me as the giant thing just ravaging a town. I don't care. It would be hilarious.
Yeah. I think... Was that how the original Godzilla was done?
Probably.
I think it's a man in a costume.
Yeah.
Decimating a miniature
shit up.
City, right? Like, so it's very effective.
Yeah.
In like a funny way. Like it's enjoyable. That is probably the word I was looking for. It's really
so
enjoyable.
Animal horror. Crazy topic. It's been fun. It's been silly.
It's been nice. It's been fun to like revisit a lot of these movies we haven't seen since we were kids and stuff.
And there's some that I want to show you still, like Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
It's super cheesy.
There's some that I still want to show you. He has never seen any version of King Kong. We need to do that.
Yeah.
Probably both versions. I think I've only seen two.
Well, and then there's the new ones.
There is three. There's three because there's the 1933, the 1980 something, and then Peter Jackson's King Kong. And then of course you get, like the one they just did with Godzilla versus King Kong.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I'm just a straight King Kong film. I think there's three.
Okay. I can handle that.
I would do the original.
Yeah, but like, like Zombievers, I think we would have, because I remember having fun watching it because it's just so silly. It's another one of those, like, they're clearly using puppets.
Oh, the puppets that's funny. That's cool. Okay.
It's attacking, like, these chicks and these bros, and it's...
Yeah. So we go into the really old ones. So King Kong 1933, you get it's stop motion.
Oh my god, okay.
Yeah.
Which
I love. That's how, I don't know if that ages me horribly, but I love stop motion.
I think we should do is just get we've had a really successful stream tonight. A lot of donations have come in.
Yeah.
I think we need to Kickstarter a silly-ass film get the horror fam involved.
Uh-oh.
You know, we can recruit them as actors. We can recruit them as prop masters. You know, I know
cast and crew from the horror fam. Okay, what are we doing?
JP could do the special effects. You would be a great assistant director. And we'll just
thank you.
Yeah, and we'll make our own horror film and just make it silly as shit.
Oh, well, that would have to be. Yeah.
You know, we'll just, everybody can fly in. We'll get Jonas here. He can be our little, we'll unchain him from the basement. Let him be catering or craft services, you know. He just brings us that drink every now and then.
Yep. Briggs will, of course, be the human sacrifice we make to make sure that
To
the film is
gods.
successful. Yep.
Yeah. Film gods, we make this sacrifice.
In your name.
In your name. Briggs must die. You know, so, yeah, everything Horror Collector says he's doing all building. We can get John Heckman. He's an engineer. Patty can be our on-set nurse.
Yes. Medic!
Yeah, we have an entire crew here. We just need to get it funded.
Yep.
Let's do it.
You guys, is the horror fam ready? We don't even know what we have to find a funny story to make.
IMLMNOP says right here, I can be the stoner that gets killed first.
There you go.
Now let's do it. Let's
Patty Eck was just, yes.
I have so many silly ideas that I've written down. Let's just make it.
All right.
Oh, shit, Chad. I'm so sorry to hear that, brother. I hope everything's okay, man. He says his mom just went into the hospital with a stroke. He has to go.
Oh, my God. Chad.
Yeah.
We will be praying for your mom,
thoughts
brother.
And prayers.
Yeah, please let us know what happens and how that goes. I'm so sorry. That's heartbreaking.
Yeah. Shit, Chad. Yeah, man. Hit me up. Let me know how that goes, brother.
That's scary.
Email me.
Yeah. Please let us know.
Contact@talkhorror.com, dude. Or Facebook. Yeah, there you go, man. That works.
Yeah, let us know.
But yeah. Yeah, so we'll get Chad Edmonds in there. He has, and I saw earlier, Chad is such a great fucking guy, by the way. I was about to mention him, but he said he just donated like 4 inches of his ponytail to Locks of Love.
Nice.
That's wild, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Chad, you are a true stallion of a man. But yeah, let's get this happen. I think an idea I came up with last summer would be great for this, because IMLMNOP says he could be the stoner who gets to die first.
Are you talking about
I'm talking
the
about
final?
Hey. No name drops.
But I know what it is.
You know what it is.
Got
I
it.
think we could make this happen.
Got it.
You know. Yeah. So if we can get everybody to donate their time and just come in. Briggs says he's ready for this to happen.
Okay.
Let's do it. And we have a river. We have the most sought-after river in the country. So
We do. We
can have us a
we
summery
live on
good
the
time.
golly, y'all.
Summer breeze.
Makes me feel fine.
Yes. Oh my gosh, everybody. So we're going to start winding this down. I think we've conversed as much as we need to on the topic of animal horror. So if anybody has any questions or comments, please drop them in the chat right now, and we'll get to those.
Anybody have any favorites we left out?
Yeah. But yeah, now I'm in movie making mode. I'm so ready, especially after seeing Cocaine Bear. JP says, where is Anna's merch?
You know, currently the only merch I have is a hoodie sweatshirt, and it was 77 degrees here today.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, Patty Heckman brings up a good point. If we make this film, you can all stay at the Glenfarris Inn and hunt ghosts.
There you go.
There you go. Daughter of Death wants to know, what did y'all think of Willard? I
never saw Willard.
I haven't seen the original, but I saw the one with Crispin Glover, and I liked it.
Okay.
It was fun. JP wants to know if his apparel arrived.
No.
No.
But as soon as it does, that's what I will be wearing on stream. I promise.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
I almost did get into my hoodie tonight, but
it's I'm sweating right now here in
man. Under this light in this room, it's it's so hot.
Yeah.
It's so hot right now.
It's so hot right now. Oh my God. Jonas, we can't wait to have you back, brother. That would be... And imagine under those circumstances of filming something. That would be so fun.
And next time, dude, we will make my spaghetti sauce together. Yeah. That way you can go home and know what you're doing.
Yeah.
That's a promise.
Heck yeah. JK says Grizzly was a ripoff of Jaws, except with a bear.
I buy it. I didn't see Grizzly, but I buy it. I could see that happening.
Grizzly.
Did you see it?
Maybe some. Maybe some. Oh my God.
Yep.
JK says so is cringy. Jonas is so ready for the sketty sauce.
Dude. We're making some for my birthday in March. Come on out.
Yeah. So, all right, man. We're going to wrap this up. We're burning up. We're sweltering hot. I'm going to go write our movie.
Oh,
and then we'll start up a Kickstarter for that. All we need is $50 million.
My tush. my Patukas.
That is true. I'm from the Robert Rodriguez Film School, so I believe in
low budget,
high creativity.
There you go.
All we need is $5 and some spearmint bubble gum.
And lots of corn syrup.
All right. So, we're going to head out of here, though, my friends. Thank y'all for coming in. Thank you so much for the support. Everything Horror Collector, Patty and John Heckman, Nate Blanche, you stallion of a man. Thank you all so much. Don't forget to watch the new video I put up on the Scream, 10 Things You Didn't Know About Scream. Go see Cocaine Bear. Let me know what y'all thought about that. Leave a comment on my video. Send wishes to Chad Edmonds' mother. I hope she's okay right now, Brother Jack Dude. I know you've peaced out, but thoughts are with you, my dear friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, JK, come get the couch cushions, brother. Post up. We'll get you in the movie. Hey, good night. Great times. Totally agree with that, JP. Y'all take care of yourselves. Until next time, look horror.
Listen horror.
Talk horror. Oh my goodness. LMOP, we love you, man. Take it easy, brother.
And